the fear side of things, I had to like just stop listening to it because it was like driving me insane. And I was like sick before, like I literally vomited, thinking about that kind of stuff. So eventually I got to the point where my own psychosis was like making me physically sick. So I had to just turn that off. So that made me that's where the meditating came in, because I had to like turn my mind off. And it was so freeing to like just not have this internal voice anymore, because I had it going on my whole life, and now I don't have it anymore. But it took me a long time to quiet my mind. It's like literally something you have to work at very hard. And then obviously when I landed and it pulled off, I was like, well, it was meant to be, you know. And it's made. I think that was a prerequisite for my mentality, because then when I got on the motorcycle in the water, and I'm out at Chopu and the waves are 20-foot faces, and I'm like on a dirt bike in the water, I'm thinking, oh man, this is a stupid idea. And when that wave crashed down in front of me, that was this heaviest moment of my life. And it was 10 times, you know, and even when I jumped the Corinth Canal, you know, the fear of facing to jump the canal was worse than in Vegas. So Vegas was really, and then the jumps before, but everything's been a prerequisite to get me to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. And whatever you do, whatever skill you want to harness, is when you sharpen a knife, you see it get sharper, and so it's nice to have a sharp knife.
It's very impressive. I will say, whenever I'm sat at the start line in my drift car about to compete, I'm like, I know how to do this. I know, you know what you're doing. You know which gears you're going about to compete. I'm like, I know how to do this. I know, you know what you're doing. You know which gears you're going in. And then like, just like you said, that little voice like, yeah, but what if you spin? What if you don't downshift at that point? And I'm like, shut up, it's fine. Everything's gonna be totally fine. You're famous for pushing boundaries and setting new records. So how are you refining your bikes to help you achieve these?
That's a tough question. Ultimately, I'm working towards my own goals. I think if I was invincible and I could be young forever, I'd probably still be trying to jump further distance records with the bike the way it is. But for me, there's one goal left for me, and that's all I'm working on. So I'm not here to replicate nothing, to do shows around the world. I think those days for me are gone. I just want to do my masterpiece, right? That's all I'm working on, is my masterpiece, and then I'm done. So I'm not really in it for the long haul, but I think manufacturers are doing a great job. The bikes are getting better every year. Obviously, we are on the brink of the electric era, and that's going to change the game for everyone, whether they like it or not. But I think the exciting side of it is the electric side of it brings a lot more power. It's instant, and the characteristics of the bike become a lot different. So we're already seeing like guys like Patrick Evans rides his bike, and when he does a whip, he's able to get on angles that we've never seen before.
Because of the weight, maybe, of the battery, or?
It's because there's less gyro with the engine, so it allows the bike to roll quicker. And then because there's no gearbox, and you're able to hit the throttle, and it does like the full rotation of the back wheel, so that when you start the throttle, you don't have to go through the gears to get the maximum RPM out of the back wheel. So with the twist of the throttle, that back wheel goes from stop to wide open in fifth gear in a few seconds in the electric version. So when you're able to whip the bike upside down, that inertia that the back wheel creates instantly creates that inertia. So you're able to kind of use that to twist your back into shape quickly. So Patrick's been able to learn better than anyone else so far to get his bike upside down and use that electric inertia that he's created from the rear wheel to set him straight again. So that's changing the game, and I think the incorporation of electric bikes is going to just make differences. But for what I've done, distance jumping, jumping on buildings, stuff like that, I don't know, I wanted to raise the bar to a certain height and then step out, and I feel like I've done that for the most part, and there's just one more masterpiece to hang on the wall, and I'm gonna follow my kids around and do what they want to do. So it's, but I just hope to be able to be an ambassador and support these other kids coming up. Part of my vision is to be able to support the Robbie Madisons of the future.
Yeah.
And I don't really want it to be my kids, but it seems like they have their own ideas in mind, so I might be supporting them. But I just want to support athletes and help them create these moments that I've been lucky enough to have. The Red Bull's been so great to me, like giving me these platforms to have these show-stopping moments. And so I want to be an advocate for that and try and help people create those scenarios for themselves.
Well, we talked a lot about dreams during our chat. Let's talk about dream vehicles. Now, my dream vehicle is a 66 Chevy Nova with a big block in it. I would love to be able to drive that down Pacific Coastal Highway and just live out my entire American car fantasy. If you've ever seen the film Graffiti, that was what I grew up watching when I was a kid. So that's my dream vehicle. So let's imagine that it's your lucky day right now. You've got the choice of any bike that you could ride, and you get to take someone with you. What would you choose? Where would you go? And who would you take?
I'd want the fastest bike.
Talking MotoGP bikes or something?
Yeah. I want the I mean, a bike that I rode, but I didn't get to ride it too much. I was just I was Grand Marshal for Evil Knievel's 50th anniversary jump, and I got to ride the Triumph Rocket, and it's a 2,400 and something cc's, biggest engine they make on a motorcycle. I'd like to get that thing wide open. It seems so fast. If I was to be able to dream here for a second, I'd like something like that with an aero kit around it. So I'm not really a big fan of going fast and having the wind smash into your face. I like the wind going around you.
Yeah.
So I really like riding the baggers, because the baggers have the whole big fairing at the front, and you got room to put your stuff in the bags, and you can kind of put supplies and food and drinks and whatever, and go for a ride and have wet weather gear and warm gear, whatever it is. But I'd take my wife, obviously, and I'd go to somewhere private. I'd ride to a hot spring or to a waterfall.
Aside from motorbikes and motorcycles, have there been any other memorable vehicles that you've tried and tested?
Yeah, I mean, I always loved hydrofoils, I think they're called, like hovercrafts.
Mm-hmm. So they're really cool.
Yeah, I like them. Things that are amphibious just intrigue me, and I think that's why I was so stoked when I made the bike to be amphibious. It was like the coolest thing to be able to ride on the land and then ride onto the water and keep going. It's still a trip to me now, but it was just one of the coolest things I've ever achieved, was to be able to have that realization. So a hovercraft, I just think that they are a badass. The planes that are amphibious, these planes that can land on water, I think that's so cool, to be able to kind of have the skids and touch down and land on the water and go fishing or swimming, and then just cruise off and land back at your airport. I think that's really cool. So I think an older version of me will be doing that one day.
I was going to say, that was my next question. I was like, are we going to see you in some sort of flying boat contraption later on in life?
Yeah, hopefully not too far down the road. Yeah, I'm almost finished with my pilot's license, so I've finished the written and everything. I just have to do the medical. So I just have to pass the medical, and then we're good. Working on that part.
So we're going to wind things down with a few rapid fire questions that I ask all of the athletes. I want you to answer with the first thing that comes to your mind, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Extreme cold or extreme heat?
Cold.
Riding by day versus riding by night?
Day.
The last time you received a speeding ticket?
Within the year.
Vague.
Within the year. Don't know what country. Australia.
Do you sometimes talk to your bikes?
Yes. Yeah, profanities.
Sand, tarmac, dirt, gravel, ice. What are your top three and why?
The right dirt, road, and gravel. I think dirt, because the right dirt with the right water is just the best thing there is. When it's like, I ride the hills out here when it's dry, it's not that fun, but when it rains, it's the best time ever. The road, because it's just always good, especially or not always, but it's just a surface that I love. I love road bikes. If I had time again, I would have loved to go down that road. And then the gravel, I think gravel's just fun because you're sliding. It's nice and loose. So I love being able to drift around on the bikes or cars, whatever it is. So yeah, dirt, gravel, road, bike or car, I'll be happy in either or.
In your honest opinion, between rally, Formula One, and FMX, which is the most intense discipline, the one that brings the craziest sensations?
F1, it's crazy, right? First time in an F1 car, and I went down the straight, and I was like, there's no way we're getting around this corner, and we went right around it. I was in the two-seater one, so it was insane. So it gave me so much appreciation of the speed, the grip, and that. It's mind-blowing, but it's a hard question. I couldn't tell you. I'm just going to go with what I do the most. I'll say freestyle motocross. Just put one mark. Max, it's the gnarliest.
As you know, MOTORFEST, the podcast, is about the
After a marvelous French introduction, I was now flying to Germany to pursue my work on the European luxury brands. I was expecting great things from the upcoming meetings. This leg of the journey was a promising one, as I was about to meet my esteemed counterpart at Porsche.
My name is Frank Jung, and I'm responsible here at the Porsche AG for the corporate archive and the car collection. The archive is kind of the memory of the brand, the memory of Porsche. In between the 80 cars we're showing here, the Carrera GT is one of the top stars. Top sports car of its time, a high-performance machine. And it's mainly made by hand.
My luxury chronicles were really shaping up, with one incredible encounter after another. And now, I was about to see Porsche as never before, with a special focus on the Porsche Carrera GT. Talking about German luxury cars without talking about Porsche would be nonsense. It is one of the names that belongs in the pantheon of luxury car culture. Guided by my fellow archivist from Stuttgart, I was being honored with an insider tour of their museum, from which I was getting priceless notes and pictures for my archives and for MOTORFEST. Among all the jewels that surrounded us, the Carrera GT took a special place in our day. A car born from a streak of Porsche victories, made to compete with the greatest. Top sports car in the 2000s, and dare I say, one of the top sports cars of all time. What a day, and what a car. I couldn't have dreamed of a better way to start my trip in Germany.